Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn about first lesson, the lost child of your supplementary book, Moments. A child goes to a fair with his parents. He is happy, means the child is happy and excited and wants the sweets and toys displayed there. But his parents don't buy them for him. Why then does he refuse when someone else offers them to him? It was a festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys, alleys narrow passages, emerged a gaily clad humanity. Gaily is happy, clad is clothed humanity. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. Dear children, all the villagers were going to join the fair. A child was going to the fair with his parents. You can see in the picture. Come, child, come, called his parents as he lagged behind. Fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. Fascinated is attracted. The child was attracted to see the toys. That is why he lagged behind his parents. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call. His eyes still lingering on the receding toys. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal in their eyes. I want that toy, he pleaded, he requested to his parents. His father looked at him red eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. Tyrant's way is cruel way. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender and giving him her finger to hold, said, "Look, child, what is before you?" It was a Flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold as it swept across miles and miles of even lands. The scene was very beautiful. The flowering mustard field. A group of dragonflies were bustling, means moving about on their gaudy purple wings. Gaudy is showy, purple is red plus blue. Purple is a color that is red plus blue. Wings intercepting means catching in between the flight of a long black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. The child followed them in the air with his gaze his look, till one of them would steal its wings and rest, and he would try to catch it, but it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air. When he had almost caught it in his hands, then his mother gave a cautionary call. Come, child, come onto the footpath. He ran towards his parents. Uh, Gaily is happy and walked abreast of them for a while, being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. Come, child, come, his parents called from the shade of a grove. Grove is group of trees where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well. He ran towards them. Means the child ran towards his parents. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hands. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves. Cooing is a kind of sound. Doves are birds. Ran towards his parents, shouting, the dove, the dove. The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. Come, child, come, they called to the child, who had now gone running in wild capers. Round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs. Throngs is crowds converging to the whirlpool of the fair and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. A sweetmeat seller hawked, hawked his cried, gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets, decorated with leaves of silver and gold. The child stared up, open eyed, and his mouth watered for the barfi. That was his favorite sweet. I want that barfi, he slowly murmured, but he half knew as he begged that his plea would not be heeded is noticed because his parents would say he was greedy. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. Means the child moved on. A flower seller hawked a garland of gulmohar. A garland of gulmohar. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went towards the basket where the flowers. Lay heaped and half murmured, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy for him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. A man stood holding a pole with yellow, red, green, and purple balloons flying from it. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of their silken colors, and he was filled with an overwhelming, overwhelming is great desire to possess them all. But he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloon because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked on farther. A snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake. Flute is a musical instrument. You say it. Bean. A snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket, its head raised in a graceful bend like the neck of a swan while the music stole into its invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded farther. There was a roundabout in full swing. You can say it jhula. Roundabout is jhula. There was a roundabout in full swing. Men, women, and children carried away in a whirling motion, shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. The child watched them intently and then he made a bold request. I want to go on the roundabout, please, father, mother. There was no reply. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there. Ahead of him, he turned to look on either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. A full, deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear. Mother, father, tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. Panic stricken, he ran to one side first, then to the other, hither and thither, in all directions, knowing not where to go. Mother, father. He wilt. His yellow turban came untied, and his clothes became muddy. Having run to and fro in a race of running for a while, he stood defeated, means he could not search his parents. His cries suppressed into sobs. As little distances on the green grass he could see through his filmy eyes men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine. Shrine is temple, to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of a space here was congested with men, but he ran through people's legs, his little sob lingering. Mother, father, near the entrance to the temple. However, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled each other. Heavy men with flashing, murderous eyes and hefty soldiers. The poor child struggled to thrust a way between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements, he might have been trampled under feet, underfoot, had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice. Father, mother, a man in the surging crowd heard his eye cry and stooping with great difficulty lifted him up in his arms. The unknown man lifted the child in his arms. How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you? The man asked. As he steered clear of his mass, the child wept more bitterly than ever now and only cried, I want my mother, I want my father. The man tried to soothe him by taking him to the roundabout. Will you have a ride on the horse? He gently asked as he approached the ring. The child's throat tore into a thousand shrill sobs, and he only shouted, I want my mother, I want my father. The man headed towards the place where the snake charmer still played on the flute to the swing cobra. Listen to that nice music, child, he pleaded, but the child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted his double pitched strain, I want my mother, I want my father. The man took him near the balloons, thinking the bright colors of the balloons would distract the child's attention and quieten him. Would you like a rainbow colored balloon? He persuasively asked. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloons and just sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. The man is still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller sat. Look, can you smell those nice flowers? Child, would you like a garland to put around your neck? The child turned his nose away from the basket and reiterated his sob, I want my mother, I want my father. Thinking to humor his disconsolate charge by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. What sweets would you like, child? He asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. Dear children, you can see in this story when the child was there with his parents, he demanded everything. He demanded, he wanted sweets, burfi, he wanted balloons, he wanted to enjoy the roundabout, he wanted to purchase a garland. But when he was lost in the fair and the man offered him everything, the child refused and told only, I want my father, I want my mother. This is very important. The story written by Mulk Raj Anand, famous story writer. So you read this story again and again. Thank you.